Hey guys, non-homosexual Matthew Santoro here with a little bit of a top 5 video. Top 5 videos seem to work good on the YouTube algorithm, so why not just give it a good old college try for those sweet YouTube revenue dollars. So today, I thought I'd do a little bit of an extension of my blog post. Yeah, what? Huh? Pitcake does some blogs? Yes, he does. You should totally check out pitcake.me where you can see all my awesome blogs where I talk about things related to magic and why I actually hate magic, why I detest magic and magicians. And honestly, if there was an ability to press a big red button and all the magicians would just die, I would press it knowing full well that I would die as well. So today I thought I'd talk about the top 5 magicians, top 5, top 6, top 7 magicians that I wish that I would have had the ability to meet, but unfortunately they've passed away. Now of course, spoiler alert, if you've read the blog, you will know the majority of the magicians already, but it doesn't matter. Why not? You see it in video form, you read it in text form, you get it in all different ways from good old Piggy here. And if enough of you like this video, I'll even give it to you anally. It doesn't matter. We just get it. We get the magic in all different ways here on the Pitcake channel. Oh boy. The first magician on this list is Dai Vernon. If you're unfamiliar with Dai Vernon, here's a little bit of a clip to get you acquainted on him.
And I've been studying magic for over 72 years. I wasted the first 6 years of my life. But I'm going to do a few very simple things for you. This is the oldest trick in recorded history. Dates back to ancient Egypt. Now, these are sterling silver cups, and the only peculiar thing about them is that one will pass through the other. And if you measure the inside measurement, you see they're deeper on the inside than they are on the outside.
Funny trivia, he actually started doing that trick with his penis. He started doing that trick with his... So Dai Vernon is pretty much known as the father of close-up magic in the sense that he's pretty much come up with more material and come up with more psychology about magic than any other person pretty much ever. There are stories of him thinking of different ways to turn over a single card in a table, whether or not to do it this way or to do it that way, and the psychology of what to do. Now, some would argue that essentially is a waste of a life, but to a magician, these are all invaluable techniques that we've gotten from this one wonderful magician, and unfortunately he passed away in the great year of 1992, a year that saw some classics as Lethal Weapon 3 and The Last of the Mohicans. Oh boy, what a good year to go out. Dai Vernon definitely knows how to pick him. Dai Vernon also looks like the type of dude that he's like that grandfather that pulls in all the hoes. Dai Vernon definitely would have been one of those magicians that I would have loved to have had a conversation with on some dumb aspect of magic that only he and Dai would care about. So therefore, rightfully earning his place on this list.
He was a kid that liked to do, gambling while really card cheating. And he actually wanted to be a hustler. He actually wanted to go out and hustle. So he was always one of those, what I call dreamers. Think he's going to make a fortune, playing and cheating at cards. So he's always trying to talk me into going along with him, to these, like the Moose Club or the bars and strike, get a game going and then, see if we can book the prospective suckers.
Now, Ed Marlowe is pretty much the same as Dai Vernon was to close-up magic. The only difference is that Marlowe put it towards card magic. So Marlowe spent a lot of time honing in different techniques, different variations of card magic. And pretty much the joke in the magic community is that if you don't know who came up with a certain trick, just say Ed Marlowe. And more likely than not, you are gonna be right. So you don't need to do all that clever crediting or all that hard work to figure out where the tricks came from, right, Jabreezy? Now the thing about Ed Marlowe is that he loved different variations. He loved finding different ways to do the same trick over and over again. Whereas some people would say, damn, dude, how about you just get one vagina? And Marlowe was married to the same woman pretty much the majority of his entire life. But he spent years just coming up with variations on the same exact trick to the point where it would have driven the ordinary man crazy. But no, good old Ed Marlowe chugged on forward and wrote over 60 books dedicated to card magic and is credited for over 2,000 tricks. I don't think I've even done that thing that makes you feel like God 2,000 times in my life. Well, Marlowe has come up with at least 2,000 or more tricks that we know of. Who knows if there's some sort of secret vault with a whole bunch of unearthed Ed Marlowe tricks that we have no idea about. But because of those reasons, I would have loved to meet good old Eddie Marlowe and talk about the prowess of card magic and have different variations for how to insert a card in the back of the deck without the spectator knowing that it's going second from the top as opposed to in the middle. Damn, you lay people, you muggles, you mudbloods, you guys don't know what you're missing. That card, it looks like it's going in the middle of the deck. That bitch is going second from the top of the deck. And you, because of your infinite stupidity, don't realize that. But, bitch, got you. You think that we're being fair with you. We are never fair. We're always elusive and sneaky pieces of human waste. Next magician on this list is actually one of these 2018 deaths. Unfortunately, I have to say Harry the Hat, Harry Anderson, the proprietor and protagonist of Night Court as Judge Stone, has unfortunately perished and passed away. Now, Harry Anderson is known for his comedy magic. He's known for also his magic. He was an excellent magician. He came up with a ton of variations. All those times you've seen the dude, the very edgy dude that listens to Evanescence on loop, stick a needle through his arm were as a result of Harry Anderson and that trick. And that trick's been ripped off to no avail. But Harry Anderson left us with a nice lecture in penguinmagic.com. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's definitely a great lecture and well worth the money. But it's unfortunate that he passed away. Alas, people grow old, and magicians, we're stressed on a daily basis. We're always trying to figure out, are the lay people, are they going to be privy to my methods? Are they going to figure out my hidden techniques? Am I going to have a social life? Am I ever going to find a hole that I could repeatedly insert my penis in and take it out and put it in and take it out and put it in? Or am I just going to have to stick it in the gap that my hand creates on a daily basis till the day that I die? You know, magicians have a lot of stressors in their life. So I think that when you think about death, that definitely adds to the soup bowl that is the stress in a magician's life. So unfortunately, death is one of those things. And Harry Anderson was taken from us, in my opinion, way too soon. And I would have loved to really have met him. Now, one magician that I didn't mention on that blog post was Tommy Wonder. Unfortunately, I couldn't think of Tommy Wonder ahead. If you guys don't know who Tommy Wonder is, here's a little bit of a clip to show you guys how amazing and unbelievable of a performer Tommy Wonder is.
Do you all have your hands on your money yet? Huh? It's not necessary. It's not necessary. You see, I'm not a pickpocket. I'm not a robber. I'm a magician. Actually, I've been the victim of a robber one time in Holland, in Amsterdam. There was a guy on the street, and he took my ring. And not only my ring, but also my watch. And finally, he took all my money. Here. Except the empty wallet. I was allowed to keep it. Nice guy, huh? Anyway, he had all my things, and he did something pretty clever. He had an envelope, and this envelope had his name and address on it. And a stamp. So basically what he did, he put all the things in the envelope, and he ran away with it and put it in a post box. So whenever the police comes, he has nothing on it. Clever. But he was a bit disappointed when the postman came, because then he had no ring, no watch, no money, nothing at all. Oh. Because I still have my ring, my watch, and all my money. Huh?
Cigarettes. Unfortunately, having a lifelong affection for cigarettes really caught up to Tommy as he died, unfortunately, of, I think, throat cancer or maybe a heart attack related to the cigarettes a couple years ago. But Tommy Wonder is one of those magicians that has a hard time going through airports because he's always strapped up. To do that trick alone, you need a whole bunch of contraptions. He does a vanishing bird cage on that same set of DVDs where the bird cage is held in his hands and the next minute it's gone. There's no way to explain it. However, if you know how it's done, it's a whole bunch of stuff you gotta have on you that'll definitely make you be a part of that line where they put the oil. Now, even though he did leave us too soon, he did leave behind a set with L&L Publishing as well as other publications of his best tricks, and he has 2 books known as the Books of Wonder, which are probably the best books in the entirety of card magic and or magic in general. Now, Ted Anneman is a weird one on this particular list because he wasn't known for his life. He wasn't known for his glowing social nature, but he did leave us with a bunch of different classics when it comes to the world of mentalism And that's that particular aspect of magic where you pretend like you're using the spectator's knowledge or their mind or their body language or whatever to pick up on certain cues and tell them about things that you wouldn't otherwise know. It's awful. It's awful, honestly, if you think about it for more than 2 seconds. Now, Ted Anneman unfortunately died in the early 40s. However, in his short life, he was able to come up with a bunch of books and pamphlets in the world of mentalism. 202 Ways to Force a Card, Anneman on Card Tricks, Practical Mental Effects. All these books are classics among magicians, and he was the one that made them in his short life. And also, he had a fantastic mustache. He had one of those fantastic mustaches. Now, if you have that mustache, you definitely diddle with kids. But back then, it was a sign that you were swimming in the pussy. The last person on this list is a little bit of a hard one to talk about because Daryl Martinez is one of the biggest influences on my magical life because his products were the first ones that I bought. It was among the first ones that I bought. His Encyclopedia of Card Sleights is pretty much an invaluable asset to any magician. And it's unfortunate that in the last year, Daryl Martinez is no longer with us for reasons of his own choosing. He was very well respected in the magic community and definitely had a charming personality to boot. Unfortunately, he didn't feel like he was of this world anymore. And Daryl remains, to this day, one of my favorite magicians, if not my favorite magician, just because of his charm, his wit. He seemed like if Atticus Finch decided to take up magic. He's like that uncle that you wouldn't mind taking you inside of the game closet and showing you tricks. He's like the one that you wouldn't mind. Whereas if Di Vernon said, hey, come inside the game room, I would be a little bit suspicious. But case in point, if you're not familiar with Daryl's work, definitely look it up. You will not be disappointed. Everything he's come out with in his entire life has been solid gold. Encyclopedia of Card Sleights, his work on the 3-card Monty. He has a bunch of products that he releases under the name Foolers Duelers. You can't go wrong with anything by Daryl. So that's the list. A little bit morbid, a little bit sad. But at the end of the day, still a bunch of magicians that I would have loved to have a conversation with. And maybe one day when we're all sitting around the 7th circle of hell, because magicians don't go to heaven. We all go down there because of the darkness of the craft that we happen to practice. So I would love to attend that Satan-sponsored lecture upon my demise. So that's the list. Make sure to leave in the comments below your favorite magicians that are no longer with us. Magicians that are long gone, magicians that unfortunately have passed away, or even magicians that are alive. I know that that list in today's world might look a little bit like Jabrizi is my favorite magician. Evan Era is definitely on top of that list, but alas, they're still with us. So make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already. Do all the things that people do when it comes to videos that I don't really want to ask you for. And even check out my second channel. I dropped a video recently on Steve Wilkos, another character that I think is not known by many, but should be known by all. I'm going to go figure out different ways to use a Joby magnetic gorilla pod as a way of hopefully magnetizing the ladies. Yeah. I can't go anywhere, as I mentioned in the video on the other channel, because there are lights here. Lights right there, so I can't walk away and do that standard gag that I always do at the end of videos, which is very, very funny. So I'm gonna have to just be here as the outro plays. What a good rendition and a good remix of Till I See You Again, right? It makes me think of Paul Walker and the fact that we did lose the greatest actor of our generation in him.